name for our actual app is Fix It Now.
Okay.
Yeah, so there's a little bit of issue there, but you know, name's Holy Donut just because it's a donut shop in Maine that we like to go to.
Best donut shop.
Yeah. But we're both from New Forma, software engineers, and we actually don't really know anything about facility management, but when that was brought up as a potential topic, kind of caught our attention. So what we wanted to do was create crowdsourced facility management. What we noticed was a big issue is that when you're at a hotel or at a school or maybe even your apartment, an issue is when you have issues, you don't necessarily know who to call, who to contact, how to get that information. What you also don't know is when that's going to be resolved. You have very little visibility into that process. So what we wanted is a way for basically anyone to be able to report information for incidents, and they'd be able to know exactly where in the process that lies. So what we created is a web application that's also hooked up with phone gap, so it has a
It's cross-platform,
cross-platform.
Android, iPhones.
Yeah, and Windows phones as well. I mean, what we're using that basically for is just for the camera to give us that feature. And there's basically three sides to the application. One is for the reporters. One is for the managers who are getting those incidents and prioritizing them. And one is for the workers who are getting their kind of work orders. So what we have is we have an API built in Node.js hooked up to a MySQL database, both hosted on AWS. And right now I'm just running this, the front end locally. It's built with like semantic UI as our front end framework, but we want to show you basically those three sides.
Start on the phone.
Yeah, start on the phone.
All right. So the first role that Dan's going to show off here is that of the reporter. This would be a tenant in an apartment building, could be a student in a dorm. The idea is that this is the most globally accessible user. You just download the app, type in a building code, and you're in. You can start reporting problems, start looking at the visibility of problems in your area, and get some alerts for things going on your floor.
Sorry about that. There we go. All right. So this is on the front page. What was it?
Tenant is the user here. So the first page you see after you log in, it's going to start by showing you all the incidents that you've reported. It'll give you quick visibility at when things are going to get fixed, what you're waiting on, and you'll know whether or not your landlord has looked at it or sent the work order on to someone in the building who can start doing something about this. We're looking at a detailed view now of an issue with chip paint. You get the address where this is at. It's going to be helpful for whichever worker is going to locate the place. You get the floor, you get the space name, and a status. Other important fields here, we've got the data is reported. You can set a date that you expect to get it finished. This is good for the tenant to know when they can expect something to be done by. It cuts a lot of that frustration out of just not knowing what's happening. Another tab you have up at the top here is going to be all the incidents. These are for buildings that you're registered to. And you can see other things going on in your building, including, for example, if your landlord was going to schedule a day where the third floor is shut off because they're having an exterminator come in. You're going to see these kind of things here without having to request information or hoping that your landlord will reach out to you. A third tab we've got is a kind of a map view. It shows some of the floor plans the owner could upload if they want, helping workers locate different places where they need to fulfill their work orders. Ideally, maybe down the line, we would have pins dropped on this map to help them locate things, maybe color-coded by status. But probably the most important feature here is the ability to create an incident. This is going to allow you to take a picture of whatever the problem is. You can take one from your camera. You can pull it in from your gallery. Then you can write a description, let them know where the problem's going on, how long it's been going on, any helpful information. I don't know if a work order is going to fix that, buddy. And probably most importantly here is the space, so that it can be located quickly. So when he submits it here, you'll notice it appears back on this main screen here. It'll be under the My Instance list.
Yeah, we need to work a little more on our image compression. It's taking a little while, but yeah.
So we see the status is pending now, and we get to sit back and wait and monitor this. So the next step in the process here, which Jen will show using the web app instead of the phone. Actually, use the app after this one?
No.
Okay. Is going to be the view of the worker.
Worker.
Mechanic is.
Or manager.
You want to be manager?
Yeah.
Oh, that's your manager.
Who's that?
Landlord. So when the landlord logs in, the very first view they get are unassigned issues. These are things that they need to address. They need to start prioritizing these items. They need to assign them to different workers that should go out to these locations and fulfill the work order. And again, the loading screen here is due mostly to us not compressing the image from the phone. But here's the full list of unassigned items. Their second tab is all incidents, just to help them track everything, all the buildings that they own. Clicking on any one of these incidents allows them to view the information and manage it. They can select a status, such letting people know if it's in progress, or maybe they decide the issue's not important, we're not going to fix it, or just let you know it's done. Setting a priority based on severity here, with 5 being most important, critical importance, and the option to add a photo of a resolution showing that something's been done. So when this loads, that information will be shown here in the list as well. I'll show the third and final row. So the final row will be that of the worker that's going to come in and either repaint the chip surface or fix the leaky faucet, whatever they've got assigned to them. And so that'll be the first view. The most important thing they see are tasks that have been assigned to them that they need to go out and address. They get the image, they'll know exactly what to look for. If they were to click into one of these, they'll see the date that they're expected to have this finished by, and they'll see the worker it's assigned to, which in this case will be them. Again, all incidents, the same view we've seen on other pages, but here they have the option to select work orders that aren't assigned to them and assign to themselves. Maybe they're in the building that day, something they can take care of right away. Anything we haven't covered?
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
That's pretty much it.
Right on.
One thing we forgot to show and mention is we left our API open in such a way that third-party devices can interface with this. So here we've actually set up like a mock system here that if you had a fire alarm set up through our API, water pressure sensor, or even your power box, you could set those up to send a message to the device here. Let's have a fire. And that'll immediately push that out. That's gonna, you're gonna get a push notification on your phone, everyone in the building's gonna be alerted, the manager's gonna know, and if we log back in here, you'll see that an incident's been created. I suppose if it is a fire, you might not have a chance to check this, but for lower priority things such as power outage or maybe the ceiling's leaking, things that can be automatically detected will interface with this, and not a problem.
Building's on fire.
Yeah.
Yeah, the API for this right now is pretty simple for the third-party integration. It's just alert, with just posting this data. Eventually, we would want this to kind of be tokenized to have approval. We do have a managed device section for different things. Yeah, so we realize there's one aspect of the data you're going to be collecting is from people reporting it. But another that would be useful is for devices, and as there are more and more devices that are internet capable, having some sort of API that can communicate between the two would add a lot of value. Yeah.
Right on, thank you.
Thank you.